Team Boxing League is brought to you by Balance of Nature. In boxing, consistency beats intensity. Balance of Nature supplements help you stay consistent with ingredients of whole foods you can easily slot into your daily routine. Go to balanceofnature.com, use code TEAM, and start today. Well, these two teams are getting ready to start tonight. The TBL Bellows will officially kick it off, and then we will go inside and meet the fighters with ring announcer Patrick Creighton.
Welcome to the next chapter of high-impact, non-stop action. This is Team Boxing League, where every round is the last round, and every fighter leaves it all in the ring. Each moment of TBL's season airs live on MSG Networks and Envoy TV, with Spanish language coverage available on Estrella TV. Fans can stream the action on YouTube or access it on the Team Boxing League app on Apple TV 4K, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV. TBL coverage is also available on Spectrum Sportsnet, New England Sports Network, and Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Thank you for joining us at the Yarb Shrine Center in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you to Executive Director Matt Woodruff and the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission for hosting our event. We'd like to thank our sponsors this evening: Climax Moonshine Fire number 32, Balance of Nature, Serenity Springs Recovery Center, Valley Sports Live, and our Community First Foundation. And now, Atlanta, it's fight night! Introducing first, the Dallas Enforcers.
All right, so the Dallas Enforcers will come in, take a look at some of their key people. Carrera, Malik Clark, Osundairo, they are the leaders. A couple of them that Al highlighted at the very top of the show. Well, you've got your assignment right in front of you.
From former Texas super middleweight champion Tony T-Mac Max, Dallas Enforcers. Bantamweight, Mary Gwynn, M.G. Falinga. Featherweight, Randall Kennedy. Former national champion and Marine veteran, featherweight, Musrat Carmona. Lightweight, Malik Muller. Welterweight, Deontay Gucci Ratatouille Brown. Super welterweight, DeMichael Triggerman Harris. Middleweight, DeJuan Gravedigger Johnson. Heavyweight, Dakari Mack Truck Scott. Featherweight, the OG Michaela Rampage. Lightweight, Jack the Demon Sambiaku. Four-time state Golden Gloves champion, multi-time national champion, and Olympic trialist, super lightweight, Brianna Carrera. Welterweight, Jesus Sabroso Vasquez Jr. Super middleweight, Mortez, the real Tasmanian McGregor. Light heavyweight, Emmanuel Hand of God Brown. former three-time Golden Gloves champion and Team USA member, light heavyweight Abimbola Space Oshundairo. Heavyweight Stephen Garola. And their opponents, your hometown Atlanta Attack.
All right, to the Atlanta Attack. Come off that nice win, 1916 over Phoenix, saving the season for them. You saw Ariel, the human cash register Davis. She is 11-0, trying for to close out the year unbeaten tonight. Monty Powell, some veterans, and this is a team that has a bit more of a swagger than they had before after that win against Phoenix, as they can see a road to the playoffs.
That really energized them for tonight.
From Coach Sam Arnold's Atlanta Attack. Bantamweight Hanite Tuitupo. Featherweight Ray Robinson. Former California State Golden Gloves champion and national champion featherweight Kayleigh the Storm Knight. Lightweight Traquan Superman Pettis.
Yes, sir.
Welterweight Javon Wolf Davis. U.S. Army veteran super welterweight Amin Fast Eddie Mitchell. Middleweight Augusto Leal Salazar. Heavyweight Devin the Destroyer Young. Lightweight Desmond X Lyons. Super lightweight Ariel Davis. Welterweight Starling Pule Castillo. Super middleweight Keandre Lightning Leatherwood. Former unified WBA and IBF super welterweight world champion, lightweight Jason Banana Rosario. Multi-time USA national champion and former Team USA member, cruiserweight, the Great Money Powell. Heavyweight Demetrius Big Meech Demeritz. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats and give a warm welcome to esteemed vocalist Shamia Crawford as she performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night
Crawford.
Now we're getting ready to go now. Yalinga and
Welcome to the launch
Tupo.
rounds. Round one is in the bantamweight division. In the blue corner, for the Dallas Enforcers, Mary Gwen, MG Valinga. In the red corner, for the Atlanta Attack, Hanite Tuitupo.
So Valinga has had a rude indoctrination into the league, with all 4 of her losses coming to Jewelry Rodriguez. So she's happy to see somebody else, even if it is a fighter who's 5-1.
Yeah, and Valinga did perform better in the last 2 of those matches against Rodriguez, but Tuitupo, who you see there, is a very talented young lady.
29 years old from Saginaw, Michigan, burst on the scene and been a positive force for this Atlanta team.
Yeah, she has had a terrific amateur career, semifinalist in the 2020 women's national tournament, and when she, for her first TBL match against Jordan Edwards, it was not only her first TBL, it was her first pro fight ever, and we've seen her over the course of this season perform exceedingly well. Her only lost to Brenda Cardenas.
And she's going to have an interesting stylistic puzzle here as slightly taller Valinga, who has had some success early using that jab.
Yeah, Valinga, years ago, she's of course a veteran at 44 now. She had a wonderful amateur career herself, and has fought as a pro, and now in this league, you know, at this point, she is, as you said, happy that she gets somebody other than Rodriguez, who, you know, has only 1 loss in her TBL career.
And as we've talked about, you can't pick your opponents during the season here, so you may fight somebody several times.
Tuitupo has a really nice right hand. She hasn't been able to quite get it going in this, and I think you're right, the height and reach of Valinga has been a little bit of a challenge for her. We've seen her mostly in against shorter opponents, but
and this looks up for grabs with a minute to go, so who can open up? Figure it has to do a lot for the confidence of this Atlanta team to beat a Phoenix squad that is going to be in the playoffs. So you beat a playoff-bound team, and there may be a carryover. We certainly saw that in the spirit of this team in the introductions.
yeah, Tuitupo has started to get that right hand in now. There it is again. She's landed at least 3 or 4 of those in the last minute, and that you mentioned this fight was kind of up for grabs. That and those jabs from Tuitupo, it really are changing the dynamic of this fight. She is a solid fighter, you know, just good technique.
And I think in that minute she did grab it. So she got through the defenses of Valinga and did well.
And here we see an example of, there's one of the right hands, and she follows with a jab right after that. Valinga did have some good moments. That left hook was a very good punch for her, but then later in the round again, Tuitupo
Winner of this
really
round
started
by
to get
unanimous
going.
decision, out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Hanite Tuitupo. Atlanta leads 1-0. Round number 2 is in the featherweight division. In the blue corner, for the Dallas Enforcers, Randall Kennedy. In the red corner, for the Atlanta Attack, Ray Robinson.
Ray Robinson, in many respects, represents the spirit of this league. He had been 0-8 in TBL, and the last time he comes out, he gets 3 points for his team, gets a knockdown, 2 critical victories as Atlanta beat Phoenix. And one week you're 0-8, and the next week you're the star of the fight.
Yeah, that was amazing. And the final match in which he won against Alejandro Meniano, that secured the victory for them. So that was a very impressive one. And his opponent, Randall Kennedy, who's trained by his dad, and his last time out, he split with Jason Wallace on June 21st.
And Jason Wallace, who is seen as a very good emerging fighter. So for Robinson, underscoring the aspect that every week represents a new start. Just put last week's away. The cumulative record does not work against you, so you always have a new chance, and he took that. There's some good work by Kennedy getting through the defenses of Robinson.
Kennedy has really good hand speed. This St. Louis native is a well-disciplined fighter. He's got good technique. And it'll be interesting to see if if the confidence, pours into this fight from what Robinson did the last time out. And there were some nice combinations.
Well, we are certainly seeing more aggression from him than we've seen in other fights. And the question is whether that will be effective against Kennedy. The very active referee in this one.
He delivered a couple filibusters last night.
Actually, if you're looking at all the subtleties and nuances on the bench, because the fighters are on the bench and rooting for each other, you do have to study the referees and their tactics and what they'll allow.
That is an excellent point. That's a very good point, and one that shouldn't be overlooked. And you didn't overlook it.
No, thank you.
Robinson's using his jab a lot in this fight, and I think that's kind of helping him a little bit, and it's kind of controlling the action. Although Kennedy came back with his own.
There's the jab by Robinson that you have referenced. We're not seeing either fighter being able to sustain an attack. It's a pot shot for me, a pot shot for you.
Straight left hand of Robinson getting in, and Kennedy trying to counter that, but the left for Robinson has become a little bit of a factor in this fight.
So Robinson on the outside was aggressive, and Kennedy was a counter puncher. We'll see who the judges reward.
A couple of young fighters in their early 20s facing each other, and Robinson from distance was able to use the jab and a straight left hand in spots to be effective. And Kennedy, as you pointed out, countering once in a while, but Robinson seemed like
winner
he
of this
controlled the
round by
geography.
unanimous decision. Out of the red corner for the Atlanta attack, Ray Robinson.
So Ray with the parlay as
Atlanta
he
leads 2-0.
converts the momentum from the week before
Round 3 is in the featherweight
into
division.
another win.
In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, former national champion and Marine veteran, Montserrat Carmona. In the red corner for the Atlanta attack, former California State Golden Gloves champion and national champion, Kellyanne the Storm Knight.
That's the two fighters who've been about in the middle of the pack. Carmona, 2 losses to Zaire Cantrell and Lizette Lopez. Did split with Chastity Roberts. And Kellyanne Knight, a KO over Ali Valley. 1 shot, then lost 7. And then went 1-1 against Tierra Brandt.
Yeah, and if ever a fighter has fought better than her record, Kellyanne Knight, 3-8, but she has been involved in some very, very close fights. 4 of her 8 losses are by split decision. Her loss to Jennifer Clausis, one of the last times out, she was extremely frustrated over that. So she's had some tough breaks along the way also. And for Carmona, I mean, she won her first 4 this season, and she's 1-5 since. So it's been an up and down ride for her as well.
So what is the point system? As we see, it's 2-0 for Atlanta. Here's how it breaks down. Atlanta has 2 one-point decisions so far. You get a knockdown, it's an extra point. 2 knockdowns, you get 2 more points, and 4 points overall for a KO or TKO. And that is usually a big moment, a swaying effect. Fighters can take the shorter route by putting on pressure and getting the referee to stop it. That also counts as 4. And Atlanta did get 4 from Jeremy Hill in its last outing in that 1916 win against Phoenix.
Nice right hand landing by Knight, of course, against the lefty Carmona. She's going to try to do that. Carmona was made the quarters of the New U.S. National Championships, and she was a Marine champ. So she's got a really solid amateur background. Knight, when she can get that right hand in, she's very effective, and we've seen the left hook from her as well.
It is a good example of the Knight right hand, and she has a very good one. Very strong, but also she can get hit with that.
Yes.
Over the top when she's not quite guarded, as we just saw.
And we just saw that left jab coming in from Carmona. Carmona's been looking for that straight left, obviously. That's her big power weapon.
And you get the sense from Knight with that loading up, that she loads up and waits. And then while she's waiting for that opportunity, she'll be vulnerable. We got Carmona trying to get inside the wider shots here of Kellyanne Knight.
Yeah, Knight found her home for a right hand, not that last one, but the one before it. And there it is again.
Very important for her to score these at the end, so that's a good way to leave an impression on the judges.
Well, Kellyanne Knight looking to the crowd thinking she won, but she's had that feeling before. Here's Carmona coming forward, and she takes a good straight right hand by Knight in the process, and then later on it's the left from Carmona, which that was her major punch of this fight. But there's
the winner of this round,
Knight coming back
via split decision and a 1-0 score. Out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Kellyanne the Storm Knight. Atlanta leads 3-0. Round 4 is in the lightweight division. Out of the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Malik Lark. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Traquan Superman Pettis.
That's a Malik Lark in our round to watch here. Has had win streaks of 9 and 6 throughout his TBL career, and he did beat a 20-8 Claudio Marrero earlier, so that's some good stuff for him. And Pettis is 12 and 5 in TBL and won 4 in a row after being stopped.
And his last win against, and there you see some of the people in this division that have put points up, and Lark is one of them. He's got power, and and we saw Ryan Zempolteca last night. He has been a solid man in this division as well.
Terrific, showing you that this division has been solidifying and becoming a strong point here. But there's 2 fighters coming in here with leaning toward the top of their games.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And Lark, you know, he's been a solid guy, 8 and 4. this season, and you almost get the feeling there's another level for him, right?
Yes.
And the same is probably true of Pettis. Pettis with that big height and reach advantage. Lark is pretty good, though, at neutralizing that. We've seen it with other fighters.
Yeah, he does look comfortable here, trying to bob and weave, get inside the jab. So use some head movement.
Pettis is an amateur, fought Gary Antoine Russell, Boots Ennis, among others. So he's been in against some really tough people on the amateur side, for sure, and here in TBL as well. Lark's trying to get that overhand right in. He's got a good one.
He's lasered, focused on getting inside. Got to slip that jab first, and he lands that sneaky right hand from the outside without having to go in.
You see, Pettis trying to land that uppercut on the inside. That would be his punch of choice as Lark is coming in if he can get it in.
Well, we've seen some pretty good jabbing from Pettis, but no double jab, which would be able to keep some counters away. Now, this is a real interesting and intriguing cat and mouse struggle.
Yeah, it really is. Two men who have experience and TPL vets, and trying to figure out how they could make some offense go without taking monstrous risks. And it's at a point in the evening where Lark would love to put a point on that board for Dallas.
Otherwise, Atlanta would be up by 4. So Lark was pretty effective on the inside.
And we'll take a look back at some of that. He's trying to get on the inside, and Pettis trying to shoo him away with those combinations.
The winner of this round by unanimous decision and score of 1-0 out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Traquan Superman Pettis. Atlanta leads 4-0.
So Atlanta jumping up to a 4-0 lead, just like in their last one against Phoenix. We'll see if he can continue that way after this. Strong start for Atlanta. Let's go back inside and pick up the launch rounds.
For real. Physical and shit.
Round 5 is in the welterweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Deontay Gucci Ratatouille Brown. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Javon Wolf Davis.
All right, so remember that when Atlanta beat Phoenix, it got out to a 6-0 lead, just like the start tonight. So will it keep up? In the meantime, Avril Matthew has one of the more charismatic members of the league. We'll let her tell you about it.
Thanks, guys. Abimbola, I don't know if you know, but your upcoming fights tonight with Money Powell are being touted as fights of the night. Do you feel any extra pressure to bring the heat tonight?
Extra pressure? My second name is Pressure. I know he feels it. Well, he feels it a lot. He's fat now. He used to be like 160. He's 205 pounds now. So he's feeling it. I'm not feeling it. But it's going to be an exciting fight, and I'm grateful to be here and be a part of TBL.
So you have beat him in the past, but that was at 175. And tonight the fight's at 190. Do you think that's to your advantage?
Of course it's to my advantage. I still walk around the same way, and like I said, he blew up. He looks like a balloon now. Me, what do I look like? African god. Not Greek god, African god. So, yeah, there you have it.
And on that note, I heard a rumor that you're a famous actor. What came first, acting or boxing?
No, acting came first, I'm sorry. Acting is my bread and butter. It's my first love, and I've been doing this since I was younger. I love acting, but boxing is a performance as well, so I love boxing as well. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, good luck tonight. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Take us back to the ring, guys.
All right, if he could only get over his shyness in front of the camera.
He's great. Meanwhile, these two guys, Deontay Brown and Javon Davis, are going after it. Davis, you know, I mean, he's 28-9 coming into this season. Now he's 31-16. It's been a bit of a struggle this season for Davis at 4-7. Uncharacteristic in a way. It's really his only losing season in TBL. So, you know, it's been a little bit difficult in this season, but he'd like to make tonight a statement night to get his team to the playoffs.
And toward your point of how he had come in here, separate winning streaks of 9, 9, and 7 when he built up that big record, and you know, trying to find that past form. And Deontay Brown had a split last time with Charles Garner. That was his best win of the year. So
yeah,
he's coming off of that.
Garner's a good TBL fighter. This has been a good action fight. Both men in the pocket, battling away, landing good shots. Davis ripping the body. Javon Davis came out with a lot of intent, but Brown met it. He didn't back away at all. And Brown, you know, a 24-year-old with a 2-1 record outside of TBL, and he's a tough guy.
And this has been a good, tough battle on the inside, and the judges will render their verdict in what will be a very big call. Good work at the end here for Atlanta, as Javon Davis, the Wolf, tried to put a little extra emphasis on it at the finish.
Both men pumping up the crowd, and I'll tell you what, they don't need to be pumped up much, because you could see them responding. That was an excellent round of boxing. Both men doing lots of great offensive work. We'll see some of that. Davis coming out and ripping those body shots, and then also getting in the overhand right. But Brown, I mentioned, he stood his ground. You know, he was still battling back. But Davis with those combinations, that was just great work by him. That was an excellent round of boxing.
And the score of 1-0 out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Javon Wolf Davis. Atlanta leads 5-0. Round 6 is in the super welterweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, DeMichael Triggerman Harris. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, U.S. Army veteran Amin Fast Eddie Mitchell.
Amin Mitchell, 4-fight win streak after losing 4. DeMichael Harris, 12-2 outside of TBL, and 1-2 inside the league as he tries to get his feet wet in this format.
Yeah, and at the top of the show, we talked about Mitchell, and there you see him where he sits in this division in terms of points produced with his 7 wins and 4 losses, and he's produced 6 points off of that, and he's having another solid season for himself in TBL.
And like a few members of his team finding some momentum now. Sam Arnold hitting that at the very top of the show, and they had a lot of tough matchups already, including 2 against a what would become a stellar Miami team.
Yes, yeah.
And they were seemingly going in the wrong direction, but found themselves, and then against Phoenix, got off to that big start, and it's even going to get bigger here, as that is a knockdown for a team already up 5-zip.
Overhand right.
So how much of a parlay will Amin Mitchell go for here?
Mitchell's had great success here from the right-handed stance. He also often fights the lefty, but he hasn't needed to switch in this match. He's been very effective, and that overhand right's been a big weapon for him.
All right, so our first bonus point of the night going to Atlanta, and still a lot of time for Mitchell if he wants to gamble, but Harris is right there with him and willing to engage.
Mitchell beat Yoelis Molina. He's the only man to do that this season. There's another one of those big right hands.
And a tactical error by Harris to voluntarily go through the ropes. And is this going to cost him more points or just a warning here?
Well, I think it's I mean, some of that was the momentum too that he had going in there. But yeah, he probably didn't do a good enough a job staying in the ring.
That's a little tap it up, and with 1 minute to go, here we are. It's been a big explosion for Atlanta. Like seeing a night of fireworks, and then that's the one that bursts out with many colors, that knockdown.
Yeah, now Harris was stopped by Isaiah Johnson back in May. Of course, Isaiah, a top fighter. Oh my.
Another big right hand, and they're willing to engage. That's our second one. Remember that graphic we showed you? Now that's 2 bonus points and a total of 3 so far for Amin Mitchell. And part of this is because Harris is willing to come in and stand and fight with him, which opens it up. He's got a chance for the 4-bagger here. And he's trying to open up and make that closing argument.
Yeah, Harris, you're right. He has fought. He just landed, before landed a nice left hook, but he was giving Mitchell an opportunity here.
See, he doesn't look hurt the way a fighter looks when he's down. It looks like he got the bad end of a stylistic gamble. And now, all of a sudden, for Atlanta, it will be 8-0 for the attack.
Yeah, here's Mitchell with that. There's the first right hand, and Harris was trying to indicate it was behind the head, but the referee was, and here's where he got hung up on the ropes.
And the score of 3-0. Amin Mitchell. Atlanta leads 8-0. Round 7.
Dream start for Atlanta.
Division. Out of the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, DeJuan Gravedigger Johnson. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Augusto Leal Salazar.
All right, so there's a lot of excitement, a lot going on in the building as Atlanta is off to that 8-0 lead. So 6-0 against Phoenix, 8-0 here.
And 2 fighters making their TBL debut. Johnson, the 33-year-old, and Augustus Salazar, 29-year-old. And Johnson has a real taste of success in pro boxing outside of TBL with an 18-0 record.
Interestingly, 18-0 and took 10 years to get that. You know,
Yeah.
When you're unbeaten, you figure someone's going to push you up the line and get you a lot of fights. So that's a very unusual 18-0.
And he had a 4-year layoff, and then just June 20th, just this year, he came back after a 4-year layoff and won with a TKO in round 1. So clearly, DeJuan Johnson is kind of making a recommitment to boxing right now. Right now, he's facing a struggle against Salazar, who is ripping big shots.
Well, there's a certain magic that seems to be coming over this Atlanta team in the launch rounds last time and this time.
This is a great matchup, too. Both
Yes.
men wailing away, but it's Salazar who has been able to land the bigger shots. And Johnson has 12 knockouts in his 18 fights, so he's a power puncher. But right now, it's Salazar who's landing the bigger shots. The Venezuelan fighter.
You always love that mutual debut, as both fighters will come in here thinking they've got an excellent chance.
Yeah, very good point. And we often see great fights when we see that.
And we're seeing one here. These guys have really opened it up. There's a good jab from Salazar. Right hand by Salazar.
Dwan Johnson's having a hard time getting on the inside to do some work. He's landed 1 or 2 overhand rights, Johnson, but not much more beyond that. And he tried one there.
He was looking for the short route to 4 points. He's just missing with that right hand. The jab is getting there only a split second ahead of him.
And even though all those punches by Salazar, not every one of them is a dramatically powerful or landing blow, he's really throwing a lot of combinations and has certainly been had more volume than Johnson in this round.
I'll tell you what, that was really excellent. You know, we can go.
Here's where Salazar did some really good work from the outside and used his hand speed and combination punching. And Johnson was able to get some overhand rights in from time to time against Salazar, but not enough really to change the tide, I don't think.
And then he just missed a couple more, which is the good defense of
Winner
Salazar.
of this round by unanimous decision. Out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Augusto Leo Salazar.
Can Atlanta
leads
sweep
9-0.
the launch rounds?
Round 8 is in the heavyweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Dakari Mack Truck Scott. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Devin the Destroyer Young.
Devin Young, 6-5 this year, 25-11 overall. He did have a 9-fight win streak in 2024. So he's had some history, and Scott 1-4. Stopped by Patrick Mailata. Does have a win over Amiri Lewis.
Yeah, Dakari Scott has been in some great battles. The 2 Amiri Lewis fights were excellent, and Melita as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this one is action-filled as well.
Now, you're Atlanta. You had an excellent launch round performance against Phoenix, and now you're backing up. And what that does for teams going forward, if this team makes the playoffs, they have to think, hey, we get off the mark better than just about anybody, and the launch rounds will be our strength.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 in a row is a streak.
Yeah.
And Devin Young is a very sound technician. You know, sometimes heavyweights are not, right? He fights like a cruiserweight or middleweight in terms of his execution and his technique, and we're seeing that here against a shorter opponent. And he was, you mentioned, you know, he was 10-1 in 2024. You mentioned that 9-fight win streak. He skipped a season, and now he's back again. And he's been a solid TBL performer for sure. You know, Scott, if he can get on the inside, he's got a really good uppercut. We saw it in the Lewis fight especially. There's a nice right hand by Scott. if he gets on the inside, he can get some work done, but Young is not allowed that.
Now, he's using his height and reach effectively and good quickness. As you referenced, he does look like a cruiserweight in terms of his speed and reactions.
Yeah, and 4 of the 5 losses he's had have been by split decision. Nice right by Scott. And he was especially frustrated by the split decision loss to Manny Villalobos the last time out. He felt he won that one.
Scott is sensing some opportunities now and is really pushing the envelope.
And landing that right hand. He has now found a home for that. He's a battler.
It has coincided with Young not moving as much in the last 40 seconds or so and choosing to stay right in front.
Yeah, I mean, and Scott is doing a smart thing. He's just keep firing that right hand, and that makes sense. That is the place I think Devin Young probably didn't want to be too much in this round, right on the inside, but for the most part, he avoided that. That was a fun round of boxing.
It was. We saw the potential of what Young could do when he had his opportunities. And then we saw some good shots by Scott inside.
Yeah, and Young landing, he's a good body puncher, but that being there set up that right hand by Scott, and Scott was able to get that done.
The winner of this round by unanimous decision, with a score of 1-0, out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Devin the Destroyer Young.
Well, when the Atlanta Attack all put their heads on their pillow last night and they thought of what's the best way for things to start tomorrow, this is exactly what they thought about. A 10-0 start. A lot of good action coming up. Here's Dave Bontempo.
Thanks, Al. We're enjoying the excitement of this one and a lot loaded coming up for the remainder of the TBL regular season. Of course, we start out with Philadelphia and San Antonio, with Philadelphia trying to close in on a magical undefeated season in their finale. And then the final week, playoff implications galore. Look at that. A lot of scoreboard watching. A lot of teams will be Houston Hitmen fans as they take on Nashville. Nashville needing the win. Phoenix, LA also on tap. And then Dallas and Boston will have big playoff implications for the winner of that. So stay tuned. We've got the thrilling run for the TBL playoffs all year. It's great to be an Atlanta fan tonight. Look at that sweep. Al talked about the Atlanta dream of this. It's the Dallas nightmare, as for the second time this season, the Dallas squad has been blanked in the launch rounds. It happened earlier against Los Angeles. Dave Bontempo and Al Bernstein with you, and really quite a statement being made by this Atlanta squad.
Yeah, and I think the one part of it that jumps out to me is the consistency. Every single Atlanta fighter was dialed in when they got into the ring, very focused. And even though some of the Dallas fighters responded well, they couldn't do enough to get wins.
Well, we captured Sam Arnold's optimism, and he has been a prophet so far. Let's take a look at how this big lead came. It started with first 5 decision rounds for Atlanta, and then it was this with Amin Mitchell, as Atlanta was able to bring the power aspect and the bonus points into it. This huge right hand, 1 of 2, and he helped the referee make the call. Referee right on top of it, and he would give Atlanta 3 points with this and a huge edge.
And then 2 debuting TBL fighters, Augusto Salazar and DeJuan Johnson. And it was Salazar for Atlanta who showed the hand speed, the combination punching, and added on to the Atlanta lead.
Okay, so Atlanta doing a phenomenal job so far, and we are ready to take it inside and see if they can parlay that into a bigger lead. Here is before that, though, we'll go to the round to watch, and that is a very interesting one with somebody we've already heard from tonight.
Yeah, round 15 in the cruiserweight division, Asimbola Asindairo, the shy one. He's going to take on Money Powell. He is 3-0 against Powell, and now up at cruiserweight where Powell is fighting him. We'll see if he does any better against Asindairo.
Asindairo got the first points for Dallas when they were getting hammered by Los Angeles. He hopes that the team will have more before he fights. Let's find out.
Welcome to the middle round. Round 9 is in the featherweight division. In the blue corner, for the Dallas Enforcers, the OG, Michaela Rampage. In the red corner, for the Atlanta Attack, former California State Golden Gloves champion and national champion, Kellyanne the Storm Knight.
So Kellyanne Knight lost a lot of split decisions, got one to go her way earlier tonight. That gave Atlanta at that time a 3-0 lead, and so she's now attempting a double. And in Michaela Rampage in an 0-5-1 scenario right now.
Yeah, she's had a tough season. Last time out, lost twice to Zaria Cottrell, but then a lot of people have. And this Davenport, Iowa product, originally from my hometown, Chicago, trying to turn things around here in TBL.
And so she's Rampage having the height and reach, but Knight pretty bold in trying to get inside of that. You get the sense that she feels she's going to be able to get inside here.
Yeah, Kellyanne Knight often is the taller of the 2 fighters, other than when she fought Tiara Brandt this season. But here she is looking up at Michaela Rampage.
They're seeing the change in style that goes with it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, the right hand of Rampage, this is not the way Knight normally fights. And this is not a style that she's used to. And what's happening is she's leaving herself open coming into those right hands by Rampage.
Yeah, not easy. You see her trying to bob and weave. You see her trying to find the angles. And if Rampage just shows the jab, even without throwing it, it forces Knight to try a different tactic.
Yeah, there's a lot of woofing going on from Kellyanne Knight. But
well, you could jab your way in, you could punch your way in, or you could talk your way in.
Yeah, very well put. Unfortunately, the talking your way in doesn't work as well in terms of the boxing, but it's one way to do it. Yeah, Knight, and one thing Knight has not done in this fight, and there you see a little bit of it, even though she's facing a taller fighter, is to use the jab, double jab, as a way to get on the inside.
Yeah, she's used one, but never the double up, and there's been nothing to shift where Rampage is. It's a situation where you could be the one doing all the hard work, but the other fighter may get the credit.
This is by far the most precise performance by Michaela Rampage in her TBL career. You know, she has done very good work from the outside, landed jabs, straight right hands, and even an uppercut thrown in there.
And this may also be the most stylistic favor for her in all those fights, so that this fit her very well. You get the sense that Dallas is going to get on the board here.
Very well, yeah. It would be shocking if they didn't, to be honest. There's some of the countering by Rampage. A left hook and a little sneaky right hand. There's another right hand. So Kaylee Knight, facing a taller fighter with bigger reach, had a difficult time.
The winner of this round by unanimous decision and the score of 1-0, out of the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, the OG, Michaela Rampage. Atlanta leads 10-1. Round 10 is in the lightweight division. Out of the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Jack the Demon Sambiaku. Out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Desmond X Lyons.
All right, so Dallas now on the board will try to make it 2 in a row.
And Sambiaku is a guy who could be up to the task. You know, he's got a really good right hand, and there you see a look at what he's done. His record's not glittering this year, but overall he's more than a 500 fighter in the TBL, and he's got some power in that right hand.
All right, the fight after this will involve Ariel Davis, as she's trying for an unbeaten season. And there's Coach Sam Arnold to say, okay, get ready. We got a lot of faith in you. He talked about her earlier tonight. She has been a star performer for his team. And also between them, you can see how well this night is going for them.
Yeah, and she's shooting for an undefeated season, which would be pretty extraordinary.
Got quite a weekend for that with Shaquille Ellis, Philly, and Philly team trying for an unbeaten season.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting to watch. Sambiaku jabbing to the body, and that's because he wants to get that right hand over the top of it. And there you see him doing that as he pinned Desmond Lyons against the corner there.
Sambiaku last win over Jaden Alpo. He has beaten a 20-7 Claudio Marrero this year, so on his best nights, he's good. And Jeremy Hill, a big knockout for Atlanta, big shocking impact that helped them on the way to that victory in Phoenix. And this is after Phoenix had scored a knockout. He got his team right back on track.
Lyons has been trying to get that right hand in as Sambiaku comes in. His own right would be, I mentioned the Sambiaku right, but Lyons has a decent right hand as well. It's been a good effort by Sambiaku, though, as he has put his punches together pretty well.
And there's some good alertness by Sambiaku as he averted the sneaky left hand that came at him.
Well, this is one of the ones you probably penciled in that there was a possibility for Dallas to win. And Sambiaku performed very, very well. We'll see if the judges think that he did enough. He trains out of the Taylor Park Gym in Chicago, where a million years ago, I was an amateur boxer. So, same gym.
They didn't name any of that after
No,
you?
they did not. There's no plaque for me. Here's Sambiaku, you know, rushing forward and landing good combinations, and he did a lot of that in that round.
The winner of this round via split decision. And the score of 1-0 out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Desmond X. Lyons.
Tough break there for
Atlanta leads 11-1.
Sambiaku.
Round 11 is in the super lightweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, 4-time state Golden Gloves champion, multi-time national champion, and Olympic trialist, Brianna Carrera. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Ariel Davis.
All right, so we talked about Ariel Davis and her magical season has won 15 in a row. This is a tough matchup. She only has lost to Erica Sanchez, and Carrera has a win over Sanchez in the past. So, you know, you don't know if A plus B equals C, but definitely in terms of talent, there's a lot of parity here.
Yeah, Carrera, you see the points she's put on the board. She's got a good right hand. She is a former national Golden Gloves finalist, and you know she's a fighter who's done well in this TBL. The question is, can she get herself in range to land that right hand against Davis?
Piston-like hand speed for Ariel Davis.
And it's interesting that they've never faced each other before, right? They're both veterans of the TBL. You would think but that by accident somehow they would have gotten in there in the last couple of seasons.
The sharp right hand gets in from Davis.
The thing that Davis does so well is she never forgets to use that jab effectively. And because of that, she ends up controlling things in the ring.
And when you look at certain fighters in TBL, they've all got that in common. Shaquille Ellis does that. Rashidi Ellis does that, where they make it look effortless by being smooth with that part of the game.
There's a good left hook by Carrera on the inside. She has a good right, I mentioned, but she can also throw the hook. Carrera's been showing a pretty good high guard to block a lot of those jabs and straight right hands. And the thing about Davis is, it's not that her offensive arsenal, like she doesn't attack you from multiple angles. It's almost like the Green Bay Packers, you know, they were going to run that sweep and dared you to stop them. She's going to throw like Ellis. I'm going to throw the jab, the straight right hand, keep doing it. It's your job to stop me.
And I'll throw 4 so the judges can register. I'll step back, throw 4 more so I can just compile it quickly. Nothing is wasted.
And she switches to lefty there, which is interesting. Not something she does all the time.
Just to give you something else to think about. And she loads up with a good left hand and goes right back to the right-handed style. And look at the confidence defensively as they can avoid the punch and also be setting up her offense behind that.
And there's Carrera kind of whipping a right hand, but the big story of this round is at no time Carrera landed, you know, scored a knockout with that big right hand earlier this season, and she just never had an opportunity to crank up that right hand. And Ariel Davis took control of this fight, and here we're going to see an example of that. Good right hand by Davis. Her right hand was very evident in this round. And then switching to lefty and throwing some nice right hooks. So, you know, shame on me. I said, you know, she's got that one attack that she likes doing, but she switched up.
The winner of this round via split decision, and the score of 1-0 out of the red corner For the Atlanta Attack, Ariel Davis.
Excuse me, a split decision?
Atlanta leads
The last couple in an
12
undefeated
to
season
1.
are sometimes pretty hard.
Round 12 is in the welterweight division. In the blue corner, for the Dallas Enforcers, Jesus Sabroso Vasquez Jr. In the red corner, for the Atlanta Attack, Starling Pole Castillo.
Vasquez 2-1 in TBL. 2 wins over Manuel Sangroni. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a good middling fighter on that Houston team who applies pressure. And Castillo lost to Damaris Watson, has beat Joaquin Camberos.
Yeah, both these men, based on their brief performances here in team boxing, you look at them and the way they performed in both those fights and say there's you know, potential for both men to do well in this league.
Castillo on the right of your screen. Has the height and reach.
You see the overhand right winging from Vasquez. That's a punch that he used that right hand against Sangroni a lot. His one loss is against Osvaldo Lopez, who's a very talented fighter on LA, and he lost to him. But
both fighters trying to get their distance and be comfortable with that. And finally, Castillo just throws the technique away and just pulls his way in.
And Castillo is he's 22-1 outside of TBL, so he's had a very good go of it.
And Vasquez just pinned his ears back and went inside and got there. There are times when all of your moves to get in will not work, and you throw the book away and just go in.
Yeah.
Take your shot. That's what he did.
Yeah, and that has worked for him when he's done it. Another example of it. Pinning Castillo on the ropes.
Good sneaky right hand there by Vasquez.
And of course, Sangroni, who we got those 2 wins against, is a lefty like Castillo.
And a fighter who's in your face a lot. And this is a little different tactic for Vasquez to go against.
Yeah, a more lanky, tall fighter who will fight a little more at range, even though he'll also attack. But it's been an interesting round. The early part, maybe Castillo doing a little bit better in, but then Vasquez in the latter portion of the fight, as you said, willing himself on the inside and doing better.
You know, when you watch some sports, you're happy about what you see away from the play because it's instrumental. And here, there's a lot that happened away from the play as far as Vasquez having to work to get inside and all the mechanics that he had to try and employ just to give himself a chance in this fight. Let's see how it works out for him.
Well, when Vasquez was able to do this, get on the inside, rip shots, not everything getting in, but a bunch of punches were. He was ripping the body and the head, and did a good job in that sequence.
The winner of this round via split decision and a score of 1-0 out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Starling Pole Castillo.
All right, so it continues to be a wonderful night for Atlanta. The O might be gone, but the lead keeps getting bigger. We'll be back with more after this. It's a big night for Atlanta, 13-1, and there is interest outside the league with celebrities as well. How about 18-year veteran and NBA champion Trevor Ariza glued to TBL? Like to see the NBA stars in the house. And now let's get more from ring announcer Patrick Creighton.
Round 13 is in the super middleweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Martez, the real Tasmanian McGregor. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Keandre Lightning Leatherwood.
That's a Keandre Leatherwood, at times one of the best fighters on this Atlanta team. Had a 12-2 run, followed by 1-4. A split with Juan Barajas last time. So we've seen him be able to get hot and put it together over several fights at a time. And now that this team might be heading toward the playoffs, they'd be looking for him to step up.
Yeah, and he's got 34 fights in the TBL, but the man he's facing, Martez McGregor, 1 year younger than him, the 36-year-old, making his debut in TBL. So we'll see how this format works for him. He is 9-10 in boxing outside the TBL, McGregor. So see how he can do here.
This 36-year-old from Maywood, Illinois. Hey, no matter where you are in your career, here's a new chance for you. Just to enjoy something. Doesn't have to lead anywhere. It might. But you're boxing. Good reason to get back in the gym. Stay sharp. So that's part of what is in it for him.
And he started his pro career, McGregor, 8-1. But he's 1-9 since, and he's had some close losses. So you're right, a chance for him to kind of renew some optimism. One of three making their debut for Dallas tonight. Nice right hand by Leatherwood.
And a good toss from the shoulder from McGregor out of the sight of the referee. So
yes.
No vision, no foul.
And you're right about Leatherwood. Atlanta, and there's a nice combination. Atlanta would like to see him get back to having when he had those winning streaks and how he's been so successful heading for the playoffs. And he is delivering a nice performance here so far in this round. Of course, if they win here tonight, it's no guarantee that they're in the playoffs, but it'll give them certainly an opportunity.
Yeah, the purpose tonight, win to make the math matter next week, because there is going to be so much scoreboard watching, and a lot of fans of the Houston Hitmen will join this league when Houston faces Nashville, hoping for the upset. And that's really going to be great for the teams around the league. Well, first to get there, so we saw New York respond to that challenge last night back against the wall. Atlanta respond against Phoenix and then respond tonight.
Yeah, these two matches in a row for them now. There's still boxing to be done tonight, so we're not going to rule out Dallas, but they're obviously facing a big hill. This one right here looks like it's going to add another point to the Atlanta scoreboard, although considering some of the judging in the last few fights, I'm not going to make a true determination on that.
A lot of splits have been called tonight.
Yeah, Leatherwood showed us the hand speed he's capable of. Now, there was a nice right hand and an exchange of right hands with McGregor, but Leatherwood was able to do some real good combination punching, as we see here, working the body and the head of McGregor and
winner of
showing
this
his hand
round
speed.
by unanimous decision. And the score of 1-0 out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Keandre Lightning Leatherwood.
So for Atlanta, the night of the embarrassment
Atlanta
of
leads
riches
14-2
continues.
Round 14 is in the light heavyweight division. In the blue corner, for the Dallas Enforcers, Emmanuel, Hand of God, Brown. In the red corner, for the Atlanta Attack, former unified WBA and IBF Super Welterweight World Champion, Jason Banana Rosario.
There's interesting backdrops when we talk about the team concept of this, especially with Rosario, came on the scene a couple weeks ago for Atlanta, maybe fighting for a playoff roster spot or the good graces of his coaches. And we will take a look at that all the way through. In the meantime, the fighter almost broke the win streak. Well, we'll just head to Averill right now for an interview.
Guys, I'm here ringside with Mary Gwen. She was in the round 1 fight tonight that set this place alight with passion and screaming. It was super exciting. You first came on my radar years ago when you fought my former teammate and TBL superstar Christina Cruz. Since then, I've seen you fight champion after champion, and you have improved incredible. Talk to me about your mindset in just taking all the hardest fights you possibly can.
You know, I'm an older fighter, so for me, I just want to fight the best, and I feel like I learned so much from those tough fights. So for me, I love to fight, and every year I kind of think it's going to be my last, and so I'm trying to take the biggest fights I can.
Well, you're doing amazing so far. What message do you want to send to young girls, maybe in their 20s, who think maybe it's a little late for them to start boxing?
I don't think it's ever too late, first of all. I think women's boxing, we have a different trajectory. We have room in the sport for more women, and boxing is so much a mindset. I think if you commit to doing it and do it well and put everything into it, it's worth going for.
I have to agree with you, and I hope we see you around for many more years to come. Guys, take us back to the ring.
Well, just like the coaches shuffle the lineup, sometimes the interviews get shuffled around too, and that's what happens there. And here, it continues to be 14-1 Atlanta.
So Jason Rosario, who's fighting up at 175 here, was a champion at 154. And when he was coming into this league, he was fighting at 160. So this is a big weight for him. The question is going to be how well he can handle it here. He and Brown are engaging in a battle. And Rosario, who is a talented offensive fighter, is landing a lot of good punches. His question at this weight is really punch resistance. You know, it's a tough night against Raiko Santana his last time out, but this is a different opponent.
I think if they see a progression of a little bit more fire from him each time he fights, they may feel that they'll be able to trust him in a playoff scenario. And he has brought vitality to it in this one.
Yes. And Brown, who is not an experienced fighter, he has a professional Muay Thai fight, but no professional fights as a boxer, was probably the right person for Jason Rosario to be in there with tonight, and we'll see some of that action by Rosario. Much more experienced than Brown, and Brown had a few good moments, but there you see Rosario, a former world champion who knows how to fight, getting some good work done offensively.
That is the most fire we've seen from him in the 3 fights.
The winner of this round by unanimous decision, and the score of 1-0, out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Jason Banana Rosario. Atlanta leads 15-1. Round 15 is in the cruiserweight division. Out of the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, former 3-time Golden Gloves champion and Team USA member, Abimbola Space Oshundairo. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, multi-time USA national champion and former Team USA member, the great Money Powell.
All right, so you'd never call him Abimbola Osunshiro. Very much loved the camera in the interview and very personable. And Money Powell has a nice story, too. Two of the fighters who have been very workmanlike in their progression up, and you get a chance to see Powell is into the leaders at this weight class.
Yeah, he moved up to cruiserweight earlier this season, and Osundairo mentioned that, though in a teasing way. And Powell has done pretty well over the course of this season as a cruiserweight, obviously. And Osundairo, who has 3 times beaten him before, would like to continue that.
Yeah, Osundairo has had a very steady progression in the TBL. Little by little, kept improving more each year, worked himself up to a 26-2 mark, had a 7-fight win streak and an 11-1 run. So also has 2 wins over Angel Lozano. In the middle of that, he survived the 1-6 patch. So each time we see him, it seems like he shows us a little bit more.
Yeah, and he's righted the ship here on a 4-round win streak after a few difficult moments, but he has a rough and tumble style, and you see that here. It's a little awkward sometimes. It's, you know, in Powell, a little bit more of a technician in the ring, I think.
Powell, by the way, split with a very good Charles Pugh last time out, the good fighter from Phoenix, and he got an important win for them, for Atlanta, with its season on the line. That was such a really tight thriller, Atlanta and Phoenix, because Atlanta had a small lead for much of the middle and money rounds and was able to take it all the way.
Yeah, and Powell has created he had a win over Steve Cunningham, a TKO win, a knockdown of Shamar Baxter. That's how he got those 9 points up there. Osundairo has been very demonstrative in this round with his antics. And Money Powell very more serious, but Osundairo now he's getting some good shots in Osundairo, and they've been wrestling a lot in this match, and the referee has taken kind of a laissez-faire attitude toward just about everything.
Osundairo had time to pose and talk, and nothing came back at him. So
yeah, Powell has not taken advantage of that.
All right, so this one will go to the judges.
Yeah, it was an interesting round. There were some good offensive moments, and there's Osundairo showing us what he can do, putting his punches together. He was certainly more active than Powell in terms of punching, and a lot of the wrestling that went on during that round.
Osundairo give Dallas its 2nd point. He has been the team stopper in many ways.
Yeah, I called him the heartbeat
Winner of this
of this
round
team.
by unanimous decision, and the score of 1-0 out of the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Abimbola Space Osundairo.
True to form, he does keep the Dallas heartbeat.
Atlanta leads 15-2. Round 16 is in the heavyweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Stephen Garula. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Demetrius Big Meech Demerit.
All right, so this is the final matchup of the middle rounds.
Garolo has an interesting background. He's been in Muay Thai and dirty boxing, which is an intriguing sport where, you know, some things are allowed. And he's just come on the scene. He's 0-3 in the TBL, but he's a guy who's aggressive, and you see it right there.
as they trade uppercuts. With that dirty boxing, you're in close quarters, and all the things that would penalize you in traditional boxing are scoring blows in that one. You use the elbows, that's okay. Uppercuts inside, and you're at very close quarters, so there's very little room to move. And it's interesting that there's a circuit for it. And tell you what, we talked about those uppercuts or what they do. When have we seen this many uppercuts inside of 1 minute from two guys?
That's a very good point. And for Demerite, you know, he did season 1 in the TBL, missed the last 2, and now he's back toward the end of season 4. And 1-1 this season. He split with Alonzo Neal, who's a big, strong heavyweight. Girola, this is what we've seen from him. He likes to, and he's so used to it, as you point out, to get on the inside. And he's getting hit with a lot of those uppercuts, but landing a few of his own as well.
In the circuit he came from, this is what they would want you to do from in tight. Here, certain referees will break you. It's just a matter of which referee style will take place. And this is all, you know, a little warning. All of that was okay in the other circuit.
Apparently, yeah. The uppercuts coming from Demerite are just keep raining on the chin of Girola. We've seen Girola get hit with some big bombs in this couple of his TBL fights. He's got a good chin. I mean, that left hand, I think, hurt Girola.
It did. It did.
Yeah, you made the point. I haven't seen anybody land like 10 uppercuts within a minute like Demerite did.
And you think, well, that's the weapon of choice in that circuit. So and he has good uppercuts.
Well, yeah, and Demerite, you know, fighting fire with fire against the dirty boxer who uses the uppercuts, and he's landing tons of them against Girola.
And what's entertaining watching it here is that usually that's the weapon of the taller fighter against a shorter guy coming in. There is no height and reach. There might be a space advantage. You get 4 inches.
Yes. And all those uppercuts and those power punches from Demerite, to me, have kind of controlled this round. He is landing big shots. Girola's a tough guy, but he's getting hit with a lot of punches on the inside.
The big men put on a show.
Yes. Oh, my.
Oh, almost bonus points. Had there been more time, that was bound to be bonus point.
Well, that was a lot of fun, and Demerite's kind of talking to Girola, saying, yeah, we put on a show here. Working on the inside, Demerite, there's one of those uppercuts. I mean, and Demerite, I should say, and he landed some big shots on the inside. I mean, just working very well against Girola. Girola made it that kind of fight. Demerite was happy to do it.
Unanimous decision, and the score of 1-0 out of the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Steven Girola.
Oh my goodness! Wow, tonight's an interesting night for the scoring.
At least it will not factor in the scorecard. Well, as we head to break, on the other side, Ariel Davis is going to try and get an unbeaten season. Earlier, this was her against Brianna Carrera in what became a very close decision. Can she get one more in the money rounds? We'll see after we come back. That's right, the road to the Mega Brawl. Part of that road is taking place tonight, where Atlanta jumping all over Dallas 15-3 en route to a critical late season victory. Dave Bontempo and Al Bernstein with you as we review the middle rounds. Atlanta was up 10-0 after the launch rounds and did enough to pad it a little in the middle rounds.
Yeah, for the most part, the drumbeat continued in some fights. Some of them were a little messy, some were intriguing, but what happened is Atlanta kept their foot on the gas pedal in those middle rounds.
And the story by highlights. Well, let's look into one of the fighters we've been highlighting tonight, Ariel Davis. This is in fight number 11. She goes up against Brianna Carrera, and this was not an easy one for her. She needed all of her talents to glide in and out, win a very close decision, and keep the dreams of the unbeaten season alive. She's got one more to fight.
And then two heavyweights gave us what we often see here in the TBL. Steven Garola, coming in from the dirty boxing world, to Demetrius Demarit, and they battled away on the inside, and Demarit landed most of the punches, but the judge didn't seem to care. They gave the decision to Steven Garola.
All right, so the celebration for Garola, and basically that's quite a performance that we have seen for the Atlanta team as they continue to move along. And, of course, we'll see Ariel Davis in our round to watch later on tonight. And, of course, Sam Arnold has been very optimistic about the team and about tonight. He's been a prophet, and here's what he has to say about Ariel Davis.
Actually, it's a wonderful achievement, and I expect that out of Ariel. I didn't expect anything different. So as much as it's a great achievement, I'm not surprised because she's a great fighter and a great person.
All right, so Sam Arnold, and we saw the interaction between coach and fighter before. They know each other very well. He knows what he's talking about with Ariel Davis, and, you know, she's got work to do, but she continues to be smooth.
She does indeed, and that, in fact, she's going to be in the round to watch, round 19. Ariel Davis going against Brianna Carrera, and if she wins, she's going to complete that undefeated season, and it has just been a remarkable journey for her this year, as it has been all through her TBL career when she's won over 30 fights and only lost 3 times.
We've seen nobody make her uncomfortable. Will Brianna Carrera do it? We will find out in the money rounds. In the meantime, let's take it back inside to ring announcer Patrick Creighton.
Fans, welcome to the money rounds. Round 17 is in the bantamweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Mary Gwen M.G. Belinga. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Hanite Tuitupo.
When they fought the first time, Tuitupo broke open a close fight in the final minute with some good pressure to get to Belinga, and that gave Atlanta a 1-0 lead. That was fight number 1 tonight.
Yeah, Tuitupo, with that now 6-1 record, has just, you know, as you pointed out, we've continued to see her grow in this league. She made her pro debut and TBL debut at the same time, and this amateur, this amateur champion has shown growth already in this season.
And she has had the added burden here of getting inside a taller fighter, and she's doing it with grit and determination.
Yeah. Belinga, the 44-year-old who is, you know, a long-time veteran of the amateur game, and has 13 pro fights to her credit. Is trying to kind of carve out her niche here in the TBL.
And she's got the stylistic mechanics, but the jab has been absent.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Dave, and especially in this matchup where she does have the height and reach advantage. She's a remarkable woman. I mean, she was a rock climber, world-class rock climber who had 3 surgeries after injuring herself, and she from boxing and did the rock climbing, and she's just, you know, a remarkable woman.
Always love to emphasize those human interest stories of the people who commit to the league. There's a good right hand getting home from Tuitupo.
Tuitupo has a good jab, and it sets up her right hand. And even though, you know, it's interesting, the great Gil Clancy used to say, they said about Amy Griffith, he's shorter than everybody he fights, but he lands the jab because the jab is about timing. And Tuitupo is showing that tonight. She may be the shorter fighter, even have a reach disadvantage, but her jab is getting in there better. She's because of timing and consistency.
And the little shuffle step helping her getting close enough that that jab can get in. And again, there's the timing. The sense of knowing when to throw it, and that's instinctive.
Yeah, she had a wonderful amateur career, as did Valenga, but obviously hers is much more recent at 29, and made it to the, you know, far into the Golden Gloves and National Championship tournament, and you see that technique here tonight.
All right, so even a stronger effort from Tuitupo. Keep the parlay what you'd done in the last minute, the first fight.
Yeah, and as we look at this performance, which is excellent, you're Sam Arnold, you're the Atlanta Brain Trust. This young lady's come on the scene toward the end of this season, and now you're looking, if you get into the playoffs, to her to help you.
And the score of 1-0 out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Hanite Tuitupo.
So instant replay for Tuitupo.
Atlanta leads 16-3.
Tuitupo gets 2.
Round 18 is in the cruiserweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, former 3-time Golden Gloves champ and Team USA member Abimbola Space Oshundairo. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, multi-time USA national champion and former Team USA member, the Great Money Powell.
Abimbola coming off a victory in the middle rounds not long ago.
No, quick turnaround for this one. And the first match was kind of messy. Osundairo did more work offensively, and there you see his work. And he's putting together a very solid season. Last season was even better, but this season he's been solid.
And that's his updated win streak, up to 5. So let's see how much the referee killed off. About 7 seconds, that last one with the holding. We'll see if he's active in this or whether they can stay outside and not make him a major operator. This is his second intervention.
Yeah, we had a lot of wrestling in the first round between these two, so I expect he's going to have to be active in this match. When Osundairo can stay outside and use those combinations, he's effective.
Now that's the third one, and again, he initiates. And he's warned there about the hold.
Osundairo, I think, doesn't want to work on the inside with Powell, so he'll be happy to hold and wrestle a little bit there and get reset at distance. And Money Powell, we mentioned he moved up to cruiserweight, and again, thinking of, there's more, oh my, all right.
That's 4 times now, and again, these are being initiated by Osundairo. And this is an area where you might expect coaches to be lobbying about to the referee, but hey, watch this. And again, the clock was running through all that, so.
Yeah, Osundairo has, you're right, he's initiated most of the wrestling and the pushing and all the rest of it. In between it, he's probably done more offensive work, but
yes.
But in addition, it's been all that going on. Money Powell has not been able to get his offense. There you see some shots going in, but Money Powell has not been able. Oh, a little frustration there.
Right, and if you're the one that does it second, you're the one that might get warned.
Well, that didn't come out of nowhere, and these two men are not happy with each other.
Well, and what's happened is Osundairo has been the one initiating the holding and coaxing Money Powell to get frustrated and throw that. And guess what happened? Now here the clock does stop, but they've chopped off maybe 45 seconds of this round, which is by design.
Yeah, and you know, when Powell went out of the ring, I mean, it was a pretty serious spill. So he was, and he felt Osundairo created that, of course. So that push he had, it came from the frustration of that. And Powell, offensively, this has just been a tough matchup for him. I mean, Osundairo is kind of kryptonite to him in general.
Yeah, and if the guy can punch and then hold, and then for the last minute be on his good behavior after the referee has said something. Oh, and that was a blatant headbutt of this. You can make the point this should be a point deduction.
Yeah, frustration by Powell. And part of it came from Osundairo pulling him in and doing all those things, but nonetheless, the headbutt is what becomes obvious. Well, a messy fight to be sure.
Well, if you're going to scout Osundairo and say awkward, this is a capital A.
Yes.
And fittingly, it ends up as in a hold.
Yes. Well, a messy fight. We had this action that sent Powell tumbling out of the ring. Thankfully, he was not injured. And came back in, and then there was more. And there's a push after a bang behind the head. And Osundairo makes a statement about it, and then the clash of heads there. Well, a headbutt, not a clash of heads. And so we had a little bit of everything in that round.
Osundairo is a guy that smiles when he knows he's going to annoy you, but still doesn't.
And a score of 1-0 out of the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Abimbola Space Osundairo. Atlanta leads 16-4.
A double for Osundairo.
Round 19 is in the super lightweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, 4-time state Golden Gloves champion, multi-time national champion, and Olympic trialist, Brianna Carrera. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Ariel Davis.
That's it. Davis tries to close in on an unbeaten season. This is her second matchup against Carrera. She won the first, but it was a split.
Yeah, and that's a key point because that's only the second split decision win she's had. Stacia Suttles had one of them as a split. That's close as anyone's come to beating her. That wasn't really a split decision. The judges weren't really paying attention, but nonetheless, these are the same judges. So if you're Ariel Davis, you have to say to yourself, I really have to make a statement if I'm going to try and get this undefeated season.
No such thing as you look at the 12-fight win streak as sitting on a lead. So some good combinations here by Davis. Will try to be the one cutting off the ring, controlling it.
And from Carrera's standpoint, one of the things she couldn't do in the first round was get that overhand right in. You know, she knocked out Latravia Pierce early in the season with a beautiful overhand right, and she's got power in that punch. but she just hasn't been able to get it on track at all.
And there's a good three-punch combination by Davis. And look at the balance she maintains. Get in, get out, get home. Davis boxing, moving, trying to stay away from the power shots by Carrera, then getting her good work on the inside. It's one interesting thing about her. She moves and you might think a fighter might move into a defensive posture. Then she just darts right back in and scores when you think she might be circling.
Yeah, and her athletic ability helps her so much. I mean, she's a top-notch college basketball player. She's a terrific athlete, and all that mobility really helps her. Here's Carrera trying to be offensive, and that's one of her better offensive forays, even though she didn't get that much done there.
So what's the key when you're scouting Davis? Try to get off first. If Davis gets off first, you have to say it.
Yes.
95% of the time we've been watching her.
But you're right, Dave. The trick against her is to get off first and see if you can push her back and create offense to nullify her offense. But it's hard to do.
Carrera has a stationary target, and Davis staying stationary so she could load up her right hand.
Yeah, and there it was. Good counter right by Carrera. So she's had a few good offensive moments here. But it would be surprising if that woman didn't end her regular season undefeated. And Carrera with a nice short right hand in there, but there's the combination punching from Davis. She did so much of it in both these rounds. And even though Carrera doing a pretty decent job of covering up, a lot of offense coming her way during the course of that round.
By unanimous decision, and the score of 1-0. Out of the red corner.
There it is.
For the Atlanta Attack, Ariel Davis.
The O reigns supreme, and there's Avril Matthew with her.
Ariel Davis, wow, what a season you've had. The first and only person so far to finish the TBL season undefeated. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's been following me. I'm like an underground artist in this boxing game, and I'm just so excited. Thank you, TBL, for giving me a platform these last 3 seasons. Thank you, Team Atlanta. We in the playoffs, and I'm just excited. Thank y'all for real.
And not for nothing, some of the opponents that you've won against are some of the best in the entire league. What would you say was your toughest outing this year?
Hey, shout out to all my opponents. Brianna, she's an amazing opponent. Stacia Suttles. I done been against Latia Williams. I done fought against Amelia Moore. I done fought against the best of the best. And I done came out victorious against a lot of them. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, MVP for sure. You know what I'm saying? In these one-round fights. So imagine me in 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Hey, I love it. Atlanta, we in the playoffs, baby.
A bright future ahead for you. Congratulations again. Patrick, take us to the next fight.
Round 20 is in the lightweight division. In the blue corner, for the Dallas Enforcers, Malik Mular. In the red corner, for the Atlanta Attack, Drakewan Superman Pettis.
Rematch of round 4, won by Pettis in that cat and mouse struggle that these fighters had. Let's see if that's the same style or we see something else.
Yeah, and Lark would really like that to change a little bit because he's at his best when he's not exchanging on the inside and having, you know, a more spirited back and forth in fights. That's when he tends to do his best work.
And that's the incentive when you get a second opportunity to face the same fighter in a night. You know, some other situations, you don't get that. You may not fight again for a while. But here you go. You get to adjust about an hour or so later, and we're seeing Lark trying to do more.
And just a moment ago, he landed a really nice left hook, a punch that he had not been able to land so much in the first encounter between them. And he's doing a little better job of cutting off the distance between, and there's that hook again. So, and their first fight was very close. The uppercut coming from Pettis, and Lark, we know his overhand right is a big weapon for him, and he was able to get that in.
Pettis trying to stay outside as with the first fight, and Lark is trying to make more of the opportunities inside. The short, snappy right hand by Lark.
When Pettis leads off with his jab and uses that punch with some commitment, he's very effective, but a lot of times he doesn't. Oh man, Lark cranked up that hook, didn't he?
Well, he got the stylistic adjustment where he got closer, pushing more, gave himself more chances, and he tries to crank it up again.
Yeah, that's about the third good left hook that he's landed in this round. And Pettis, you could feel that he feels like I've got to get some offense going now here, because Lark has made some big moments happen.
It's one thing to have the stylistic advantage for Pettis, and then if not much of a separator, then you have the look of the aggressor. But now you've been hit with some shots, and they've been hard ones.
One intriguing thing is Lark has been holding more on the inside, not working, I think, and that doesn't suit him well. This is a nice sequencer for both fighters.
A good scrap. Saw something a little different than the first time, which is entertaining. Let's see if we get a different result.
Well, Lark coming in and cranking up those hooks and landed a nice overhand right there. When he was on the inside, was able to do that and work on the inside, did it again. And then Pettis had his moments there, landing his own left hook, and from distance, Pettis did some good work.
Winner of this round by unanimous decision, and the score of 1-0 out of the blue corner.
And
for
we
the
do have
Dallas Enforcers,
a different result.
Lark.
So that's how the adjustment works. And in the meantime, the star of our show right now, Ariel Davis, the human cash register, undefeated season. Ariel Davis, this owes for you. Back in a moment. On their march to what they hope is the playoff round. And Avril Matthew is with the NBA star we mentioned before, Trevor Ariza.
Yes, I am here with Trevor Ariza, former NBA champion. It's your first time at TBL. What do you think so far?
It's very entertaining. The pace is very high. It's a lot of entertaining people here. It's really good. A lot of skill, a lot of entertainment, and you know, it's something really cool for the sport of boxing.
Who's your favorite fight so far?
Well, I had a couple of favorite fights. Ariel was really good. Wolf was pretty entertaining, and I can't think of his name, but the guy with the hat on, he's really entertaining. But everybody has a high skill level, and since it's one round that you're fighting, it's just a lot of action, like back to back to back.
So we'll see you back again soon.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be here.
Well, thanks for joining us. Guys, let's go back to Patrick to introduce us into the next round.
Round 21 is in the heavyweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Dakari Mack Truck Scott. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Devin the Destroyer Young.
Okay, so it's Scott and Young helped Atlanta complete the launch round sweep. And by the way, the Reza was referencing Osun Dairo, the guy with the hat. So even you get attention just by what you do.
Now, in their first round, Scott, toward the end of the round, was able to land some really good right hands. And when the action for him is in close quarters, Scott's a pretty good fighter. And Young is choosing to stand right in front of him and battle away.
Yeah, there were some good moments on the inside, which initially you figured could work for Scott's advantage, because Young, as you were referencing, kind of a cruiserweight look to him for a big guy, and chose to go inside, which was a little surprising.
Yeah, in the first part of the first round, from distance, Young was doing extraordinarily well, but now you see this is, and Scott, I mentioned, he's been in some wars already in TBL with Amiri Lewis and a couple of other situations, and so he's happy brawling on the inside.
Send a thank you card. Appreciate the style we had in this fight.
And it's not that Young can't do this. He can. He's certainly fighting well on the inside, but it gives an opportunity to Scott. Good body work by Young, I'll tell you what. And, you know, when you're facing a big guy in the belly like that, you're going to bang away.
Yeah, and the quickness, the hand speed, an asset to him there. All right, so he gets up in close. There's the good left hook to the body. Pushes him off. It's pretty good strength by Young. And again, he can't miss with that left hook to the body.
No, and you know what? It's funny. Young just made a stylistic decision. He said, I'm not going to jab and stay on the outside. I'm going to just walk in and do this. And for the most part, he's been successful with it, but Scott has had some good moments because it creates options for him. And there's Scott trying to wing that right hand. He was able to land that even from distance and at the end of the previous round.
Young going upstairs. Now he's got the right hand after he established work to the body. You have to guard against that if you're Scott.
And the jab finally emerging for Young. I mean, he's got a really good jab. He just hasn't used it in this round because he walked right in instead of jabbing in.
Continued good work here by Young, hustling. And there's that left hook to the body. When it's so automatic like that, you can almost feel like there's a sign on your opponent. Doesn't your hook belong here?
Yes, exactly. Young is happy to oblige.
Excellent job of cranking out the hooks to the body by Young and the straight right hands. So he went from a lot of different directions and offered quite a performance against a very willing participant.
Absolutely, and they waged a good battle from time to time on the inside. There's that right hand getting from Scott after Young had done such good work, and the uppercut from Young. Devin Young's a very well-schooled fighter. He really is.
The winner of this round by unanimous decision and the score of 1-0. Out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Devin the Destroyer Young. Atlanta leads 18-5. Round 22 is in the heavyweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Steven Garola. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Demetrius Big Beach Demerit.
Well, this was entertaining.
Yeah.
When we saw it the first time in round 16, the graduate of dirty boxing, Steven Garola, with those in-tight uppercuts, and he was obliged by his opponent. So let's see what we have here.
Yeah, and Demerit landed even more uppercuts. I mean, he was ripping that punch on the inside, and Demerit had to be a little frustrated when he didn't get the decision. But we'll see what happens in this one. They're going to be battling away. And yeah, what are they throwing first? Both uppercuts.
And can't emphasize what a rarity this is. All the years we've been watching boxing, how many times do we see rapid-fire dueling uppercuts?
Yeah, that's just not normal. I mean, it's fascinating, but and we've seen fights where both fighters would use it, but not to this degree. And Garola, you know, listen, he's trying to make this stylistically what he wants by getting on the inside against Demerit, using his weight and all the rest of it. But Demerit has mostly counterpunched pretty well in that posture. And there's where Demerit does a very smart thing, kind of trying to twist off of those ropes.
And then be the first one in with the uppercut. As we mentioned earlier, Garola, part of the dirty boxing circuit in which everything is in tight, and there are a lot of uppercuts and hooks from short range. It does teach you about fighting inside, and he's tried to carry that into here. Got a decision.
You know, from what was shocking about the judges giving Garola the decision, but it's something that kind of he bulldozed them into it.
Yes.
They're assuming because Garola is in pushing Demerit back, and because he's the one muscling, that he's winning. But the punches mostly were coming from Demerit.
So Garola looked the part and got the point.
Yeah, and he's trying to do the same thing in this round. And for the most part, Demerit's still doing most of the offense, but some coming from Garola.
And so Demerit still trusting what he did stylistically, because you didn't change it against a guy who basically comes at you one way. You could circle, you could jab, you could use angles.
Yeah, you could. I don't think Demerit, that's his way. Well, I guess no point was deducted for hitting on the break. And Garola, wow, we've had an interesting evening. Garola not dancing, so.
Walk him back. Garola with some posturing.
There's Demerit banging away. And this has been a fascinating night on every level.
Then the peekaboo from there. Hey, they packaged a lot into this. And this has been fun to watch them unfurling so many different elements of boxing.
And other things as well. Garola, you know, we saw this the last time he was in the TBL ring. He's a character, and Demerit is shaking his head at the entire proceedings. Well, I wouldn't even presume to think of what the decision's going to be. They battling away on the inside. There was some actual boxing in addition to dancing, and there's Demerit with a left hook and a right hand. Garola shaking his head no, and Garola did land some shots, but there's a counter
winner of this round
left
by
by Demerit.
unanimous decision. And a 1-0 score out of the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Steven Garola.
A sweep.
I'm speechless.
Atlanta leads 18-6. Round 23 is in the super welterweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, DeMichael Triggerman Harris. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, USA Army veteran Amin Fast Eddie Mitchell.
I mean, Mitchell turned a potential runaway into an absolute rout in round 6 with his 3-point performance, vaulting Atlanta from 5-0 ahead to 8-0 ahead.
And, you know, the knockdowns he got, the couple knockdowns, you made the point, and it was kind of interesting that even though there were knockdowns and Harris went down, it didn't seem like he was ready to be stopped at any point during that round. And so we'll see whether Mitchell can continue that power onslaught.
He kept coming and gambled, and then was outgunned in those situations.
Yeah, I mean, Harris is himself a power puncher with 11 KOs in his 12 victories in pro boxing outside of TBL, but he has been hit with more power punches than he's landed against Mitchell.
Then you think that Mitchell dropped a 12-2 pro twice, so a pro outside of TBL, so it's a quality fighter that he dropped, and kind of indicated that to slip that magic was in the air for Atlanta tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Mitchell came in on a 4-fight win streak, pushed it to 5, and created a lot of points in the process.
Well, and you love to do something like that in your last regular season outing before a hoped-for appearance in the Mega Brawl playoff run.
He's exactly what Atlanta has to like about this performance. They look up and down their roster and see people like Mitchell and several others performing at a high level right at this moment, which is what they wanted to see.
And that is what Sam Arnold referenced at the top. He said, we've faced the toughest teams in the league right away. You know, we didn't get a spot where we found an easier schedule, but they did against a reeling a Dallas team here. But even Phoenix was favored against them last week. So.
And here, Mitchell, that knockdown was because of a punch behind the head, which Harris has complained about with Mitchell. But I think some of it's also where his head is moving. But Mitchell's continued to attack.
Good work again by Mitchell.
Eamon Mitchell, he's a dog in there. You know, he's just a tough Army veteran, Army boxer who is, you know, comes in here and he gives you every ounce of effort.
He could come up with a 4-point night for his team. And Mitchell had 2 points in that win over Phoenix. 2 very important points in what was a close
round
match.
By unanimous decision. And the score of 1-0 out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Amin Fast Eddie Mitchell.
It's some jawboning after the fight is over.
19-6.
If you do that in the launch rounds, you come back and you have
Round
another crack at it. But this
24 is in the lightweight division. In the blue corner for the Dallas Enforcers, Jack the Demon Sambiaku. In the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Desmond X Lion.
Lions won a very close decision way back in the middle rounds, and so this is going to close it out for this 24-round cycle here. Terrific night for Atlanta. Team sitting at 1 win a couple weeks ago. saying, don't count us out. We have 2 more shots at it. And Atlanta, at least for now, has made the most of those 2 shots.
Yeah, the win over Phoenix and this one were both excellent for them, and demonstrated some depth in their lineup that people thought they might have and showed some promise of early in the season, but kind of cemented it with those 2 wins.
And this is one situation where you really could see the confidence sweep over that team after they won to carry over into tonight. We saw it in the introductions. There was a really good air about this team since the Phoenix victory, and this is the way that they wanted to follow it.
Yeah, and some of the people like Henete Tuitopu and Ray Robinson, additions to the team in recent times, or in Robinson's case, somebody that has kind of ignited in recent time, and some other performers that have shown up here tonight and done a good job. You know, have to make them feel good if they can get into those playoffs.
And of course, a lot will come down to tie breaks, which will be decided by matches still to come in the race to the finish.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be quite a night, and but next week, when those playoff berths are really decided, is going to be very intriguing.
Houston facing Nashville. Boston gets another shot. And 2 teams that you know, need to have it. So Atlanta has taken care of business here.
Yeah, Jackson Mbaku trying to get, you know, he's a fighter trying to win a fight for himself, and Desmond Lyons trying to make sure that he closes this out correctly for Atlanta.
And don't forget, there's an incentive for all these fighters to hit the All-Star game, which is September 6th.
Yeah.
So if your team is not there, you get selected in the All-Star. There's an incentive there. It's another payday. So, yeah, Sam Biacco has been one of the better performers on the Dallas team in recent times.
Yes, and has a lot of potential in this league, I think.
All right, so we'll just await a verdict to get to our final number. Ariel Davis, undefeated for the whole season, savoring this great evening, both for herself and for the team.
The winner of this round via split decision, and the score of 1-0 out of the red corner for the Atlanta Attack, Desmond X Lyons.
Atlanta started with a series of wins and ends it with a victory, 20-6, an emphatic attack all night long. We'll be back to check out the honor rolls after this. Boxing League is brought to you by Balance of Nature. In boxing, consistency beats intensity. Balance of Nature supplements help you stay consistent with ingredients of whole foods you can easily slot into your daily routine. Go to balanceofnature.com, use code TEAM, and start today. And speaking of consistent, what a consistent performance all season long by Ariel Davis, starting with the knockout of Jenny Smith, and then now we just saw magic from her all year long.
Yeah, she was consistent all year, putting win after win after win together. And every time out, even against Stacia Suttles, one of her biggest rival, she was consistent, won twice against her, and produced some great moments.
Yeah, using others' aggression against them. And what a surprise. She happens to be the Balance of Nature star of the fight. And this is what happened tonight as she closes it out with these victories over Brianna Carrera.
Yeah, tonight she was everything she's been, and got yet another 2 victories, and she is undefeated at the end of the regular season.
Totally unflappable. Let's go inside now for the honor roll call.
Fans, after a great night of action, our final score this evening, the Atlanta Attack 20, the Dallas Enforcers 6. It's time for our 3 stars of the evening. Our 3rd star from the Dallas Enforcers, Abimbola Space Oshundairo. Our 2nd star of the evening from the Atlanta Attack, Amin Fast Eddie Mitchell. And our Balance of Nature 1st star of the evening, the undefeated Ariel Davis. Fans, our round of the night is round 5 between Deontay Gucci Ratatouille Brown and Javon Wolf Davis.
Coach, congratulations. Your team understood the assignment tonight. As a coach, you have to be pretty happy with that performance.
Yes, ma'am. I'm happy about the performance. I'm happy about the crowd. And I'm happy that Atlanta come out and support us. Hey, everybody give it up for the crowd that come out and support us. Give it up for the ATL.
You mentioned earlier that you had a tough draw this season, going up against all the best teams all year long. That's who you're going to be up against in the playoffs coming up next. The energy that your team put into tonight was next level. Do you think that's going to be able to carry on through into the playoffs?
I think it's going to carry on. You know, when it gets to the playoffs, it's a whole new season. The record don't matter no more, so we can keep stepping on people through the playoffs, too.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank Atlanta for coming out and showing up for us. Make some noise.
Eamon Mitchell, 2nd star of the night. Amazing fights tonight. Both of you guys came out with bad intentions. That first fight was fireworks. The second one too, but especially the first. Talk to me about that. You had him out of the ring. You were still punching. What was happening there?
I just saw red, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shoot, until the ref stopped me, I wasn't stopping. I'm sorry, but I wasn't stopping though. Just shout out to the fans. You know, that's what really gave me the motivation to go out there and do what I needed to do. Because without my fans, Atlanta type of vibe, I wouldn't be able to perform and be who I am under these lights. You know what I mean? So shout out to Atlanta. You know what I mean? ATL, baby.
Unreal performance. Good job. And Ariel Davis, wow, what a night for you. What a season for you. I have to ask you, with all the success that you've been having and the hard work that you've been putting in, what do you hope the next generation of girls watching you would take away from this?
Man, I'll just say, look, shoot for the dreams, shoot for your dreams, shoot for the stars, and it's never too late. You know, I'm 31. I'm really just getting started in this boxing game, and I got a lot left to go. So it's never too late.
And so, as it looks right now, you guys might be up against Philadelphia first in the playoffs, which means you're probably going to be fighting your big rival of Stacia Suttles. What message do you want to send to her?
Hey, I know she wants that rematch, and I'm excited for the rematch again. And we're going to put on for women's boxing like we did the first time, so it's going to be fireworks.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that one. Thanks, guys. Take us back to the studio, and let's close out the show.
Okay, so basically, Al, when you look at what's happening with Atlanta, and there's still a lot to be determined, but whoever's going to face them, you look at this, and maybe there's a spirit of it. Maybe we're not that anxious to face this team in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you look in the middle of that lineup, there's a bunch of fighters that showed out tonight. I mean, Mitchell was one. Javon Davis was another. Fighters, Traquan Pettis, fighters we know are good, but when they perform at that next slightly higher level, they make this Atlanta team special.
And what happens when a team catches fire? Atlanta did tonight. New York did in its previous one against Boston. So here you go. Atlanta back up to 7, NYC, and Boston below the line, with still Nashville trying to do a lot next week to get itself in. So that's how it looks there. Let's look ahead. Next one, Philadelphia and San Antonio. Philadelphia trying to close out that magical undefeated season and give us a look at what we might expect in the Mega Brawl playoff run. So beautiful night for Atlanta. Kaylee Ann Knight had something to do with it. We had all types of big moments. I mean, Mitchell telling the ref, make sure you count that. It does go. Kaylee Ann Knight was there, and what a good evening for Atlanta. For Al Bernstein, for Jason Moon, for Clark Rowe, and for all of our great TBL staff, this is Dave Bontempo saying, see you next time.